What's up, everybody? It's your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. I'm here with Christopher of ChrisleeTV. He is here today. We're going to be talking about trucking, all trucking topics. We're going to get as many topics as we can get done today. I'm super excited. How are you doing today, Chris?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking, Erica. How are you?
Totally introduce yourself to our audience. What do you do? What do you do? What are you doing right now?
Okay. I'm a truck driver. I've been driving for almost 2 years. I drive at one of the mega carriers. A lot of people have like a lot of uh, slack they give to the mega carriers, but I'm sticking to it. So that's what I'm doing now. And like I said, I've been watching you for a while. I started with a debt video, and it just kind of got into investing because that was something that I was interested in. So I've stuck with it, and I've been watching you since then.
Okay, so what are some misconceptions about trucking? Number one, like, right? You look like a young guy. You look like 18.
Yeah.
What are number one misconceptions about trucking? Like that trucking is going to make you fat and overweight and stressed out. Like, what are some things you're?
So like you said with the whole young thing, like young drivers get a lot of slack for not having the experience that other people have. You know, how people want you to have 30 years of experience, fresh out of college. So that still like kind of applies with trucking. Like you said, also with the eating thing, our habits for eating aren't that good all the time. We don't get a lot of options. Uh, we get a lot of Subway, a lot of fast food, Popeyes. So I'm actually plant-based. I eat on a plant-based diet, so it got harder for me actually when I came out here. Um, but that's another thing that we get just like for in safety. Like we have a lot of issues with safety as far as we have a lot of regulations, and I feel that it shouldn't just be for truckers as far as these regulations. I feel like all cars should be regulated and not and have like I guess with driver's ed, they should teach how to drive with trucks on the road, but they do teach us how to drive better with cars on the road. I think it should be like a 360, like everyone should know, kind of have that knowledge on how to drive.
True. Yeah. I mean, I hear a lot of people complain about cars just being disrespectful, cutting in front of y'all in traffic. I mean,
Yes.
like I see so many YouTube videos on just trucking. Like my little nephew's 11 and he watches these trucker accident videos. I don't know why.
Yep.
He just likes trucks or uncle has trucks, a small trucking company. And I brought you on because you've been driving for 2 years. You kind of have a feel of the industry, and there's so many questions that people have about trucking that I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not a trucker. I'm
Hmm.
just on the investing side of trucking. And so I'm glad you said you're on a plant-based diet. That does seem really hard to do on the road. You probably take some vegan protein with you and whatnot.
So my protein, I eat peanut butter and a lot of beans. I don't
Mhm.
have any like I haven't experimented with the vegan uh protein yet. I have it, but I've never opened it and tried it because I'm like, what do I drink it with water? Like, there's
Almond
no.
milk, probably almond milk
Yeah,
is going to be the
right.
best bet. So, okay, so there's already questions coming in. I answered how long you've been driving, two
Okay.
years. What state did you start in, and what state are you in right now?
So I started in Texas. I actually live in Dallas, and that's where I am now. So, my whole journey. I don't know if they want to hear this, but I would wake up, um, and it'd be like 4 o'clock in the morning. I wake up and go to school. I had to ride the train to CDL school because I lost my car along the way. So I'd wake up, take the train to school. I'd be there for like 7, 8 hours. I'd take the train home. So it was a lot of hard work getting my CDL. Like I worked really hard. It was a struggle for me and my family. So like I just knew that once I got it, everything would get better, and it has. It's really improved my life a lot.
Man, I'm glad to hear that. So you said 78
Mhm.
hours. Now, there's signs I see on the road and signs I see on Craigslist. Get your CDL in 17 days, 21 days. Are those things real or fake? Because this is going to be a true,
Yeah. Um, as far as me like trying to recollect on my journey, I think it took maybe 3 weeks for me to get my CDL. With the school, it was a class portion, and then there was also like a road portion, and then it was going to the DMV to actually do the tests. Um, and there are a couple tests you have to take, and then you do like a road test. So there's like a computer based test, and then you do a road test. So I think it was about 2 to 3 weeks that it took for me to get my CDL. But those schools can be different. I know the company I work for, they do like a 17-day type deal, but then there's like a contract you have to sign with them. Those are some of the things that these schools do. You sign a 1-year contract with them, they pay for your CDL, or it
Mhm.
comes out of like your check or something like that. Um, and then you have your CDL. You're allowed to go anywhere you want. But the training, I've been training people, and that takes about I think 6 weeks, like for your on the job training.
So do you think it's worth it? I mean, there's so many young men I see in Chicago and New Orleans and other places they're saying that are unemployed, have high numbers. 2 to 3 weeks is not that long of a time. I think that's pretty fair. Do you think those companies give you a good shake when you do that, when you sign up with them that way?
Um, as far as my journey, I my CDL was paid for through the state of Texas with the program that they have, and I didn't go through a company to get my CDL, so I can't actually really speak on that. I like
Sure.
from coming from an opportunity standpoint. I think that's an awesome opportunity to come from nothing and to be given something that can change your life pretty much. So, like from the outside looking in, I think that's like a really, um, I think it's a good deal.
Okay. So yeah, I like that. A lot of people are like, man, I'm not driving no truck. You don't make no money. But then most people I see that drive trucks for at least 2, 3 years are really making money. So whatever you feel comfortable disclosing, um, you know, what is the roundabout number? From $1 to what do you make a year potentially? You can share.
So yeah, starting off, you're not gonna make a whole lot of money because it's for experience. Like it's not like a job where you go to work and you're getting $15 an hour starting the first hour you work. Like this, it's a huge learning curve. So you have to learn how to drive. You have to learn kind of how to operate. You're going to shippers and receivers. You're stuck in traffic sometimes. You're doing a lot of stuff that you've never done before. So you're not going to come out being, head honcho making the top dollar. It's even after school and after your job training, there's still things that you have to learn about this industry, like kind of what suits you, like because there are so many different types of ways to use your CDL. If I haul reefer. The company I work for, they also do like tanker. There's flatbed. There's Conestoga. There's different, like there's the oil rigs. People haul water for the oil. People haul oil. Like people do. It's like sand trucks, dirt trucks. There's so many things you can use your CDL for. So you want to first get that knowledge of how to drive first before you kind of look for the the big payday, if you would say.
So yeah, I think that's important to like at least get the basics down because you guys have what
Right.
13 gears in there, 12 gears. I can't remember. I was
Some
asking
of
some
them,
guy
yeah.
like I got 20 gears or something stupid. He said one time and laughed at a gas.
Yep. My
uh,
trainer had 13. So I started off with I think like 8 and then he had 13. So it was a learning curve even doing that. But I've recently traded in my manual for an automatic and people get slack for that too. Like they're like, "Oh, you drive an automatic truck.
feel like I
Like you're
sure
not a
do.
real truck driver." I'm like, "All right, my miles per gallon are great though." So
That's what I'm talking about. Plus, you be in traffic, all that inching up in traffic, and nobody got time for that.
yeah, with me training, I don't want no one messing up my truck. So like if you can get in and go and just press the gas pedal, just that makes life a lot easier for me.
It really does. So my question is leasing versus owning a truck. There's a lot of conversation.
Hmm.
When I talk about the hood estates, people get so mad at me like, Erica, you can make more money than that. And I'm like, look, there's so many layers to trucking industry.
Right.
Let's just start with these two: leasing a truck and owning a truck.
So leasing a truck is what I do.
Mhm.
I have a truck note that I pay every month, and I have a lot of responsibility for this truck. And a lot of people say like, "Oh, you have all the responsibility, but you don't get paid like you have that responsibility." But it's all experience for me. I'm trying to learn what I can while I'm here, and then I'll take it to the next level. So owning a truck, my trainer, he did own several trucks, like I said. Um, he has even more responsibility, but he gets paid a lot more as well. So um, as far as maintenance goes, like it's all for lease and owner op. You're responsible for all the maintenance. You're responsible for all the fuel. So it gets it gets expensive. But as far as like how I see it, I don't see like a big issue between there being a difference, like a big difference between both. But
Okay, so
other people have different opinions.
so owning, you know, owning on average, what do you feel like those are payments that, like, let's say a $48,000 truck. How
Hmm.
would you feel comfortable in a truck that price range or no?
Would I feel comfortable?
Mhm.
So I'd have to know like the year of the truck, the make
Like
and model.
2015, we're just giving some, general Peterbilt, something like that. My nephew isn't here to give me all the answers, so I'm like,
Right,
oh,
right.
Peterbilt or something. No.
Yeah. Well, it also depends on what you're hauling. Like if you want a Peterbilt, that means you're going to be hauling heavy stuff. Like a Freightliner, you're not really hauling a lot of heavy stuff. That really depends on what you're hauling. So
Gotcha.
that'll
So
differ.
so for me, I hear a lot of people say I get paid a certain thing per mile, right?
Hmm.
I see that on the back of trucks. So if I was leasing a truck, how many cents per mile would I get versus if I owned the truck?
So um, with my company that I work for, it's like a seniority type of deal. So say you've been there for so long, every year you get like a penny raise. So
Mhm.
me coming in, I started off at like a low range, low 30s. And then I did the lease op and then it bumped up about 60 cents.
Okay.
So after that, like I know the longer you're with these companies, like the more you get paid. I don't know if there's a cap. I haven't figured that out yet. But even so, you still have like tons of opportunities. You could hire drivers to drive for your fleet, and they have less responsibility. They don't pay for the truck, but they do get a better rate per mile.
Okay, so I've seen signs that say like 80 cents per mile, 99
Mhm.
cents per mile. Is that real? Is that fake? What is that?
I would hope that's real. It sounds good, but we'd have to call them and see kind of what they're about because it sounds good. And then um, being owner op, as far as like not working for a company but owning your own business, it does go up to like $3 per mile. Like that's when you really
Woo!
start. Yeah, that's when you really start making some money. But like I said,
You got the
that money comes.
insurance, you got more
Yeah,
responsibility.
yep, comes with a lot of responsibility.
Because I was looking at E&O insurance just for a truck. Me and my sister wanted to get a dually for towing
Hmm.
in our local Fayetteville area. Holy moly, that insurance came out to almost like $1,000 a month, and that
Yep.
was just for a dually. Well, I don't. Okay, so a dually. What I'm talking about, you guys, is like you ever see a Dodge Ram, 4000 series, or just it's super big and jacked up, but the back is gone, right? It's just like a no truck bed. So
Right.
that's what I'm calling a dually. You guys could call it something else, but when we saw that, we were like, "Woo, $1,000 a month! We got to tow a lot of people for that." And so I have family members that own a small trucking thing, but me
Hmm.
and my sister are also getting into stuff. Plus, me and my mom, we're just on the side of like owning the vehicles, not driving them.
Right.
Because my sister is shorter than me. She's barely 5'1". She ain't driving no truck. So,
Right
um,
on.
so my next question is, on the road, do you feel like cops are harassing you? Do you feel like, there's a lot of accident opportunities? Do you feel like, what is it about the road that seems, doable for you?
I'm a nomad at heart. Like,
Mhm.
growing up, my mom worked at American Airlines when we came to Texas,
Ooh.
and I got to fly around and like for free. And I just would get up, I get on the phone, and she told me she was like, all you have to do is call this number and you can get on the plane. So I was like, really? And then I did it one day. I went to New Jersey, and like from that point on, and like I said before our we got live, my mom she was like I said we've been to Canada. She's always taking us to different places. So I guess that travel bug was kind of embedded in me like younger when I was young. So I love being on the road. I love just being at different places at different times and being able to do different things that I don't normally or wouldn't normally be able to do at a 9 to 5. I did work at American Airlines myself, but I'd have to be in a cubicle 90% of the time, and then I'd have like that 2% of the time to go travel, but I'd have to be back home Monday to go back to work. So I was like, I'm not really feeling this. So I went and hopped in a truck, and then I went everywhere. I've been pretty much I've never been to California. I've never been to New York. I've been to a lot of places that I've never been if I would not have been a truck driver. So I really enjoy it.
Well, good, good. I mean, what's crazy is I see a lot of guys. See, so there's a funny thing when you said about airlines. This one guy was like, stewardess are always hooking up. And this lady's like, every time I'm off the plane, I'm sleeping. What are y'all talking about? Same thing with
Right.
truck drivers. I think people think truck drivers are out here sleeping around everybody.
Oh my gosh. Let me tell you.
Every time I see a YouTube story, it's about lot lizards. And I'm like,
Yep.
stop with the stories.
Yep.
And so I just want to give a different face to trucking, and you are that younger, different face.
Yeah.
And so like let's say for this, for example, if you want to go take a month off,
Hmm.
you've been working hard and you want to take a month off and you just want to go travel, could you do that with your job?
I could. I wouldn't. I do a week. I'm not that. I get bored with a month.
I don't know,
Unless
you
I'm
might want
like,
to go to Thailand or something.
unless I'm like about to have another kid, I don't think I do a month. But
You
I've
have kids?
definitely. Oh yeah, I have a son. He's 8. He's right now. He's at robot camp, so I'm waiting for him to come home. But I've
Y'all
been
look at
off.
this man. This man looks 17, talking about he's got 8 years old.
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
but um, lost my train of thought.
I'm
But
sorry.
yeah, um,
Taking
as
time off.
far as yeah, as far as taking time off, with me being at this company, I don't get like the option like an owner operator would. He
Mhm.
could take that time off because on one load he can make uh, enough money to support him for a month. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't have that option yet, but I'm working to get there. But right now mine is like a week or 2 weeks. I wouldn't even push 2 weeks right now because I'm not getting paid as much to where I can do those types of things.
Well, I was just wondering if they give you time off options, because sometimes people act like I'm
Yeah.
on the road every day of the week. I never get any time off. And I'm like, I just don't know if that's true. So I wanted to ask somebody who's driving for a company.
Well, for a company, if I was a company driver, then it would be like for every week I get a day off.
Okay.
But I'm a lease operator and I have a lot more freedom, so I can call like different kind of shots. Um, so if I want to say I want to take a week off, then I take a week off. If I want to say I take a month off, then as long as I have enough money to cover my truck note, my insurance, and everything, like I
Mhm.
can pretty much do. I have a lot more flexibility than a company driver would, which is why I took the route that I did.
Got you. So how long does it take you to be a lease person, lease operator?
It took me, I think, after I completed my, you have to. I think there's like a probationary period, like of like 3 months or something like that.
Mhm.
I may be wrong, but there's a probationary period, and then after that, they give you the option to become a lease driver. Because I think they want to make sure that you can like drive the miles to cover the expenses of a lease driver before actually giving you that opportunity and setting you up for a failure. So.
Okay. So, what are some of the big things you see that are holding drivers back? Like, is it behavior? Is it food? Is it diet? Is it stopping too much? Like, what is holding drivers back on the road that you think that you're seeing?
Holding them back from what?
Making more money, like better life? What is something that eats up a lot of their money? Is it the food? Is it the travel? Is it stopping too much? Because there's one guy who always talks about drivers are stopping too much. You know, it messes up their money. You know, what are some
Yeah.
things you're seeing?
Food is big. We gotta eat, and I mean, we don't get to spend a lot of money on different things. So when we do get to eat, we might, indulge because um, we have all this. Like, so some of these people have a lot of money, and we're like, well, what do we spend the money on? What do we see all the time? And then what are our needs? Like, we need to eat. So that
Okay.
is a big one. As far as stopping, I think that is hilarious that you brought that up because at my company we're governed, so I can only drive the max of like 62 miles out in an hour max, even on a 70, even if I wanted to. So I'll see people pass me all the time, and then they'll pass me again, and then they'll pass me again. I'm just like, what are y'all? It took me a while to figure out what they were doing, but they're stopping, and then they'll stop, and then they'll zoom by me again, and then they'll stop and zoom by me again. I'm like, what are you? And that's killing the mile per gallon.
Got
But as far as making more money, um, I mean, it's really if you know kind of if you have your ducks in a row, you can make a lot of money out here.
Okay, okay, that sounds good. I like that. So, okay. Um, Now, when it comes to leasing and owning trucks, that was part of my question too. Why do you think more guys don't do it? Is it
A lot of
credit
people,
or what?
no, well, with my company, I didn't have to have credit. And I thought that was like a really awesome thing. Like I didn't have to have because I don't have the best credit. I'll let you know. Like I don't have any shame in that
We're gonna
because
work on
I'm
it.
building it. Yes. I'm currently working on it. But as far as like where I'm at, they didn't look at my credit as for me to lease a truck. They didn't look at anything like that. They were like, um, if I went outside and I leased a truck through like a dealership, then they're definitely gonna check my credit. But where I'm at, and that was what kind of sold me. I was like, well, I get to get in a truck that's worth like $150,000, and they're not checking my credit, and I get to do a lot of different things. Like they gave me a lot of options. So can you repeat your question? I'm sorry, one more time. I do get off on that.
Sorry, I'm coughing too much. I'm still recovering from my little cold I had. So I was saying, why don't more guys buy a truck? Why don't more guys lease a truck? And I thought it was credit, but you're saying they're not even checking your credit with your company.
Yeah, so they don't even check the credit. So a lot of people are not, and I do that. I did that a lot, and I still do it. But I'll reflect myself on other people, and I'll say the same thing. But a lot of people don't have the mindset that we have. A lot of people aren't driven like we are. So, I kind of left it at that. I was like, hey, if you don't want to do it, and I'll tell other people this. Like, if I see like a young driver like me, I'm like, hey, what's your plan? I'm like, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm like, that's cool. Like, and they'll be like, well, and I'm thinking about doing that. Well, I'm like, if you think about leasing, like, do it for you. Don't do it because someone said do it. Don't do it for the money. Don't do it for any reason other than you wanting to do it. Like, because you'll get into it, you'll see that you don't like it, and then yeah, you'll have that experience, but why not do something that you want to do?
Okay, so cool. I like that. Like, hey, everybody, there's like 60 or 70 of you on right now. Please hit the like button. If any of you want to hit the super chat today, that would be great. I don't care if it's $1.99. It's just showing respect to the people we bring on the channel and that they would like it. Digital B Media said, where would they go get a CDL?
So there are like these carriers, they're called mega carriers, and they do sponsor people to get their CDL. So if you look up like CR England, they're one of the big ones. There are a lot of big, and you don't have to go to CR England because I said that. This is not like I'm not getting paid to say that, but there are like a lot of big people, and they'll sponsor you to get your CDL. And like I said, you have to sign on to a year contract with them, and then after that year contract's up, then you're kind of like a free agent. But that's what a lot of people that did. They did that when I went to CDL school. A lot of people were sponsored.
Okay, I like that. So somebody said Swift, JB Hunt, Prime. Go to Prime. Theon Williams said something about leasing trucks. Okay, he's in. Somebody said they were in a dedicated carrier. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where's this other one? So this guy said a lot of local drivers work like 12 to 18 hours, 6 days a week in West Texas. Does that sound about right to you? Is that too much? Do you think it's because they're working for the company, or it's just because it's West Texas and it's old?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with West Texas and kind of the driving out there. I do have a family friend who drives for a local company, and he's been trying to get me to drive local for ever since I got my CDL. He makes about $1,000 a week. He makes some good money driving locally, and I could make that. Like I have the qualifications, but it's not something that I'm interested in at the moment. So
yeah, you said you didn't want to hop company to company, which I think is
yeah,
good. I think sticking with the company, getting your seniority, and trying to make some money. You know what I mean?
right. Until I'm ready to make a big decision and like take my business elsewhere.
So what are some things you're doing with your money right now? I know you watch this channel. I know you're working on your credit. What are some things you do with your money as far as investing or trying to get other drivers?
So right now, as far as investing, um, personally, I invest in like Stash, Acorns, a Roth IRA through Betterment. I also have some stock in Under Armour and
Under
some other things,
Armour.
and some other things. Personally, that's what I do. I want to get a home. I want to buy a house and do some things with that as far as like buying a quadplex or a triplex.
And
And
if you're from the Dallas area, hey, now there's some quadplexes you can buy, but you got to have enough space to park your truck. Do you drive your truck home?
Mm.
Or you park? You
Yes,
park?
I do drive my truck home, and in the city I'm in, they just sent out an email like for an ordinance to all the tow companies, and they towed my truck where I usually park it, and I got it towed before,
What?
and it was like before I got it towed, it was like $600, but then they talked to the owner this time, and then he dropped it to like 450. I'm just like, this is not gonna happen again. Like, there's not gonna be a
Oh
third
yeah,
strike.
I'd be like, peace out, I'm
That's
moving.
already $1,000 gone. But I'm saving like with my business money, I'm saving up, um, and I'm gonna save like to that $10,000 mark because you can do a lot of things, like you said. A lot of people that I watched, like that $10,000 mark, you can change a lot of things
It
in your
is.
life.
It's a life changer. The more
Yeah,
people I'm talking to, the more I'm connecting with people overseas, digital nomads. Like, just there's, I mean, we can go talk about that off camera, but like, there's a lot of big opportunity. Once you get about $10,000, you're talking about buying businesses. You're talking about
yeah.
buying sites. You're talking about going in half on flipping projects. I mean, it's crazy.
Hmm.
It's crazy, especially
Yep.
here in Texas. I mean, I did a video where I was showing Waco, the home prices in Waco, the home
Oh
prices
yeah, I watched that.
in Texas. I bought some land in Granbury, Texas for like 2 grand. You
That's
know,
crazy.
yeah, there's a lot of opportunities at the 10 grand mark, but we'll say that for another video.
But yeah, that 10 grand mark is, yeah, it's huge.
So do they give you guys like incentives or referrals, right? Because right now they say trucking short 100,000 drivers. Does your boss come in there every week and be like, yo, we'll pay you $100, get some other people up in here? Do they do that or no?
I don't have a boss. I'm my own boss.
You know what
They
I
just
mean? There's a referral kind of incentive out here to pull
yeah.
in other drivers.
They do sometimes, yeah, they do have incentives like sign-on bonuses and things like that. I'm
Mhm.
actually myself, I'm trying to hire people to drive for my company. Like what I do is like the company that I work for, and I say it on my channel, it's Stevens Transport. So what they do, they give me like a discount if I want to hire people to drive for my fleet and they don't have a CDL, then I can
Mhm.
get them their CDL for a discounted price. And what I'll do is they'll end up paying like $3,000 if they sign on a 1 year contract. But after that, they're good to go. Like if they want to go somewhere else after that 1 year contract, even though they're signed to both me and Stevens Transport, I don't have an issue with that. But my incentive is that I'll pay like that half of that $3,000 if they come over and drive for me. So they only end up paying $1,500 out of pocket for that CDL, and they, like I said, you get to better your life. You get to do a lot of different things after that 1 year.
It's funny. I see a lot of drivers. I don't know what it is, but I see a bunch of them go to Miami a bunch. I see a bunch of them go to Dominican Republic a bunch. So I mean, I don't know if that's a trucker hangout. What's up with Miami or Dominican Republic? Um, and this one guy asked, "Are self-driving trucks going to hurt the trucking business industry?"
Well, I mean, it'll benefit the people who own the trucks, but as far as truck drivers, we're gonna be we'll still be in the trucks from my knowledge. Like they'll still need drivers to like park the truck and do like different movements with the truck that a self-driving truck can't do. But as far as driving over the road, that takes a lot of what we do out of the picture.
Yeah, I think it's going to be another 10, 15 years. I mean, they have a
Mhm.
lot of these trucks that can't even tell the difference in a white car. Like if the sun hits it at the wrong angle, it doesn't know to stop. And I'm like,
Right,
you can't have a camera on the road as long as we have white cars driving out here and it
right.
can't recognize white car. There's just no way. Same thing when they said about trains. Like my cousin worked for the trains in Union Pacific. Like when the last crash happened, everybody's like, "Oh, we ain't never using trains again." And everybody bought stock, and that stock went from like $20 to $53 to like $96. So
Wow.
all the employees were like loving Union Pacific stock at that point.
Hmm.
So
I
a lot of
bet.
times when people say this stuff about trucking, I'm like, whatever. Now I will say Apple Mac provided page B6 of the New York. Let me go back up. The Wall Street Weekender Journal, page B6, said they did a whole page on West Texas and Midland, specifically saying where a guy was hauling water for $800 to $1,000 a day.
Hmm.
So there probably is some truth to that. Maybe not
Yep.
everybody's making that, but I see that's pretty good. He said something about West Texas has 2 companies that teach driving for a fee, no contract, and I think 2 colleges now offer CDL truck classes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, here's the thing: in the economy the way it is, I'm seeing a lot more men. There was a guy who had an accounting degree, and he said he just couldn't get a job anywhere, so he started driving trucks. The office he worked at lost an accountant because he was just old, and he was like, "Oh, I could be an accountant." And he's like, "Really? Why are you driving trucks?" You know, like,
Yep.
and he was able to get into the office and worked in that different, vicinity. But my thing is, I'm seeing channels now where there's an Asian guy called Chiang Mai, if I'm not mistaken.
Asian
And
mind.
yeah, Asian Mai, and
Yeah.
sorry, Chiang Mai is in Thailand. Sorry, you guys. He is driving and he has a college degree and he's Asian. And so it's like all these stereotypes are kind of thrown out the window because I think at the end of the day, you need money. You need money. And if you can't get into one of those office jobs, 80K or 100K a year sounds good to me.
It sounds great. Actually, my trainer and this other guy I met on the road who works for the company I work for, they were engineers before they started driving trucks.
Wow.
And yeah, I was like, "You're an engineer," and he came out. He had money, so he came out and he bought his own truck. And that's why I'm trying to play catch up because I'm like, I didn't have the money to buy a truck, but ever since he bought his truck, every year he buys. Well, until when he pays the one off, he'll buy another one, pay that one off, and he'll put someone in the one that he paid off. Like, and it's like a cycle, a recycle that he keeps doing. I'm just like, man, like you're really making some money out here. And he's like real quiet and chill about it. And I'm just like, I'm watching. Like I'm I'm unlike other people. I'm very observant and I see what you're doing. So.
Okay, Chris, I'm gonna need you to train some of my drivers for my truck. I'm gonna need you to recruit me some drivers and also teach them. No.
And that's actually why I want to do that because like I'm not trying to make, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how many people you help. Like you said, these people, there are people out there and they're like they're working these low income jobs and they're not getting them anywhere. And people like myself who have children, like, yeah, I don't get to see my wife. Yeah, I don't get to see my kid, but I know that there's a roof over their head. I know that there's food on the table. And I know that when I get home, like I can love on them all I want, and then I can go and keep providing for them.
Well, and it's only temporary too,
Right.
like, I mean, you can switch to over the road, local routes if you wanted to. And so some people, this one guy I know, and I keep picking on him, but he don't watch my channel, so I'm okay with it. He was getting evicted. Like he got evicted 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
And he was all like, and everybody's like, yo, go get your truck driver. Like somebody had already offered to sponsor him. Somebody offered some other stuff. And he was like, no, I can't be away from my kids. And everybody's like, you don't even live with your kids. They live with their mom and you getting evicted. You need to get some money in your pocket.
Yeah, sometimes it's a time and a place to step up, and that seemed like one of those times. Because,
he just was missing the opportunity. Okay, so let me see here on my notes. Okay. So you're in the Dallas area. So if some young man wanted to call you, contact you, let you sponsor him, is there a way for them to contact you? Now, you don't have to put your phone number out here.
Yeah.
You can put a little Gmail or something you want to send it to, but if you have some way you want them to contact you, please let us know.
Okay. So on my channel, if you're not familiar, ChrisleeTV. I also often comment on your channel. But ChrisleeTV@gmail.com is the handle that they can reach me at.
Okay. And so what's your goal this year? How many truckers you're going to get under your belt this year?
So my goal, I started early with the whole trying to recruit people. That wasn't a goal of mine until next year. So I started very early. So I've already got everything that I wanted out of it because I've had at least 13 people inquire. Some people are looking for local jobs. Some people are just looking for different things. And I'm just trying to specify it and kind of like pinpoint on what I offer and how it can be beneficial to them. So I've already kind of reached my goal as far as getting people to inquire and just reach out to me, and then me being able to reach back out to them and let them know how I operate and what's going on. Okay.
So I'm gonna have a follow-up with you because I'm when I go purchase the truck, I want to have talk with people and have a Q&A or whatever. I like what you're saying. I know it's only been 2 years, but I like what you're saying. I'm just gonna read you something someone said in the comments. Mrs. Love Jones, 28 years in the business. Her and her husband are looking for drivers to drive for their company. Right now, loads are paying out $10,000 out of California, paying $10,000. We know where the loads are. Now, what is that talk? That when people say loads, is that like a different? What does that mean? Like they know where the
like
loads
I said,
are.
like I said, the first year is a learning curve. And it's different routes in the United States and different seasons these different routes and different seasons bring different kinds of money.
Mm-hmm.
So right now that there might be something in season where they're paying a high top dollar for it to be moved. And there might not be a whole lot of movers, or not movers, but trucks in the area.
Mm-hmm.
So if she can get those trucks out there, then she's it's like a supply and demand type of thing.
Okay. All right. What's the worst to drive in? Is it snow up north or mountains?
I don't like either of them because I live in Texas and we have one mountain in Texas.
Okay.
But mountains, there's a mountain on 80 that I dislike. There's mountains all on 80, and I don't like going on
And what's
80.
80? Tell me what the 80 is.
I'm sorry, the Highway 80, Interstate 80. So
Where's
it's
that
like Utah,
at? Utah.
Northern California. It runs through those northern states.
Okay, so that's the worst.
The mountains, like I said, the mountains I don't like because it's kind of like I don't like it wears on your truck. Like it really wears on your truck. And then like the whole going up and downhill and then having to shift gears and downshifting and
The
stuff like
brakes,
that.
just rubber going
Yes.
down the hill.
Yes. People will go down hills and their brakes will be on fire. Like you'll smell the rubber burning. Like it's bad. I've learned how to kind of drive down mountains, but also the snow. I had my first snowstorm this past winter up in New York, and it wasn't fun. Like I got into some ice and it wasn't a good it was a good learning experience.
Show. You know the show Ice Cream Truckers that was so popular because they're in Alaska, and I'm like, oh no, like so. Anytime I ask drivers, I was like, what's worse, mountains or ice? So
they're both bad.
Yeah. Do they pay more for you guys to go across Montana and all that stuff like that when it's cold like that?
Not where I'm at, no.
Ooh, I don't like that. No. Somebody called it Donner's Pass. Is that
Donner Pass? That's it. Yep. And then you're going down a mountain for like at least an hour or 2 hours. Like you're just going down a mountain. I'm just like, when can it be? And I have to train people to go down that mountain sometimes. And that's why I'm like, I don't like going up there because like you have to have experience going down that mountain. And it's just like, it's really nerve-wracking.
No, I don't like that. Even when I'm in North Carolina and the Appalachian to go across to Tennessee, those trucks will be flying around them curves. I'm like, no, it's too tight in here. Don't do that, man.
Like NASCAR.
I can't. It freaks me out. So anyway, I'm checking the comments. But yeah, make sure you guys hit the like button. I'm trying to bring on more people to talk about trucking, talk about the industry, talk about recruiting. Chris volunteered his time today. You know, he's trying to get his relax on. You know, definitely hit that like button. Somebody said Lookout Pass. Is that a word too? Is that a place too?
Lookout Pass. I think I've heard of it. I don't think that that's somewhere I've been.
Okay.
Lookout Pass. But Donner is definitely something I've been down too many times.
That's why I took them all out. They shouldn't have went over there. They should have left it alone. Do you get any flack? Like, I know you guys stop in certain cities. Are there any cities that you feel like treat you guys truckers unfairly or isn't kind to truckers? Do you have any of those places you think?
Right here where I'm at in my city. Dallas? Like I said, yeah. There's spots like where truckers used to park out here, and then like that would just be like a cool spot for them to park. And like I came back this time, and it was like a desert. I'm just like, and my heart dropped. I'm like, whoa, like what happened? Where's everybody at? And I'm just like, there's something up, and I know I shouldn't park here, but I'm tired. So I parked, and my truck was gone.
Dang.
Yep.
That sucks. I think that's Dallas, getting bought out anyway, though. You know what I mean? Dallas is a lot of money is moving to that city, you know, all the time. Let me see. Okay. Was there any other questions in the chat? You guys have any more questions about trucks, about driving, about the industry? Like, put them in the chat. I'm thinking of good stuff, but there might be some questions y'all have. I don't know. This one guy said he thinks Walmart welcomes all truckers to park in their store lots.
That is false. I parked in Walmart. That was my first tow. I got $600. It says in the Walmart parking lot that we're not allowed there. So.
Wow.
And then some of them, like a lot of truckers do park in Walmart, but I wouldn't do it again.
So Mrs. Love Jones says, Chris, contact me. Let's make some money. I'm just saying what she said.
I'm going to go back and watch the video.
Okay. Well, she has it at dtruckconsultant@gmail.com.
Okay. That's cool.
So there you go. You look back at the comments. Oh, somebody says, as an owner operator, paying tolls can kill your pocket.
We get a discount on tolls because I'm a company driver. So, but I do believe that because I went on a toll in California. I don't know the bridge. It was like a big white bridge, and like it was $25 for my truck to go over. I was like, what in the world? And I was mad because there were no truck stops around. So I was forced to drive over the bridge, and then I had to drive back over it to get to my shipper because the first time they weren't ready for me. So I'm like, I can't go anywhere right now. There's like nowhere to park but at this truck stop, and I needed gas. So it was no choice. Like I had to do it.
Okay. Okay.
And not gas. We say fuel. I'm sorry.
We got a guy. How much time do you have left? Do you have like 10 minutes, 15?
I have time. Yeah.
Okay. Thornell Smith said he would like to join and share some of his experience. Thornell, if you put your Gmail in there, I can go ahead and invite you. I don't want to take up people's time all day, but I definitely want to, just bring in some truckers so that people are not afraid of the industry. I think a lot of guys, young guys, are like, oh, I don't know about truck driving. And I want to bring on young people so they see people like Chris. They see people out here. Cash Maddox said New York toll is $70 to go across George Washington's bridge.
Yeah, that George Washington. Yeah, we get, like I said, they pay. Wow. I don't have to pay for that. If I go over that bridge, they actually pay for that because they like for us to go to New York, and that's why I said I got caught in New York during the winter.
Wait, do you have to pay when you go across, or is it like that tag, like the text?
I have a tag. Yeah, I have a tag.
Okay, I was like, oh, ain't nobody paying every time.
Oh no.
All right, Thornell Smith, make sure you put your email in there. Pharaoh Ediment. Okay, so there's 2 more guys. I'm gonna try to add you guys and just kind of get a mix of driver experience. I'm not gonna be here all day, but I don't want to take up your time because I know you guys have valuable time. But I want to add some trucker experience because I really think there's such wrong misconceptions. Same thing with military. Like when I talk about my mom's military experience and like how all her jobs were, people are like, oh, the military, you're just gonna get killed. And I'm like, you guys are really overly sensitive right now.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like, even with me starting this trucking journey, like I wanted to kind of consume everything about transportation that I could. So that's why I took the Hood Estates course for the trucking investment. I also took like a freight broker class. When I first got my big check, I was like, I want to learn everything that I can. So in freight broker, you can make 6 figures being a freight broker, and you can do it at home. So even if you don't want to get out and get in a truck, but you still want to be involved in the transportation industry, like there are lots of things, lots of ways you can make money in the industry.
Okay, so like the Hood Estates course, which I've told them they should go check it out for themselves. Do you think it gave you really good value?
Yes, it did. It taught me how to look for drivers. It taught me how to kind of like from being on the hiring side of things. So I haven't looked at the course in a while, but I'm not going to say that it didn't teach me anything that I didn't know already.
Okay.
And how's everybody doing? Can everybody hear me?
We can hear you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
So do you have any experience to add on our trucking we're talking about today?
Sure. A little bit about me. I've been driving a little over 6 years. I'm an owner. It's been like my first, going to my second year. I'm with a company called Leasing Inc. We're based out of Eagan, Minnesota, but I'm out of the Florida yard in Tampa. And everything this young man, he said, everything is pretty straight on. Like one of the you have to, drivers have to be safe when they go on down mountain, especially when you downshift, especially out there on I-80, on I-84 when you're going through Oregon, when you're going through Cabbage. What's the other? It's a mountain called the Grapevine, and all those hills are like 6% downgrade, but they windy as a mug. And if you're not careful, a lot of drivers have flipped off those mountains, and I mean those are serious mountains. Like,
yep.
Wow, that's crazy.
I'm sorry, and I'm actually near where everybody else at. I'm actually over here, if you guys can see, over here at the Choctaw Casino. So I'm in Durant, Oklahoma. I'm right on the borderline where you guys at, Texas and Oklahoma.
I know that used to be the home of Kevin Durant. He a traitor.
I
know. Okay, so I added Thornell and I also added Cashmatic. If they come on, they come on. So you've been driving for 6 years. What made you want to be a driver?
Pretty much. It's funny. I follow after my dad's footstep. He's been driving now for 33 years. He's an owner operator with Landstar.
Yeah,
so
I like Landstar.
I to me, to be honest with you, I used to drive with him every time, and I would never thought many millions of years that I'll be sitting in an 80-ton truck driving. I'm like, I used to think, how does he even do it? But I got into it like it was really a lady who I was working for a carnival, and she motivated me to do it because she was driving an automatic and she was toting the Ferris wheel. So when I looked at her, I was like, wait a second, she can do this, man. Come on, man.
Like that,
I mean, she was on about like 5'2", and she's toting a Ferris wheel. And I'm like, man, come on now.
Right on.
Now, she had the freight shakers, the old Freightliner Columbia. She didn't have the newer truck, so she was even. So it kind of inspired me. I got my CDL, which she said,
wait.
when you go through.
Sitting on phone books?
Huh?
Was she sitting on phone books?
Be surprised. No, she had actually like a customized seat. I don't know how they put it in there. So it was customized, built for her. So that's cool. I don't know how. I think they redid the clutch where her foot, can get up to her angle. But I got my CDL, in which Chris has said, you have to, if you get it through a company, you have to do 1 year with them. I got mine through Prime Incorporated, which they're based out of Springfield, Missouri. And so I tell a lot of people with them, either them or Stevens Transport, they'll make you work to get that CDL. You will actually learn how to drive, especially back end. Right. You do the 90-degree angle dot, what I'm thinking about. 45. The parallel park, the S curl, the back end. They'll make you work for it. Prime, they will too. They just you get to pick and choose. When I came through there getting my CDL, of what back end you wanted to do. And so a reason why I kind of tell people to do it with Prime is because it's the first year, they're kind of like the highest paid, especially in training. Like now, if you go through training, they're paying their drivers just through training, $750 a week. Okay. And so that's like one of the highest. That's one of the highest in trucking. And then when you come in, now the thing is, they got two options. You can either get into their lightweight Freightliner or like a full-size Freightliner. If you're in a lightweight Freightliner, it's kind of small. Like the seat is literally behind. The bed is literally right behind the seat. It's like there's no room. But they pay you up to 47 cents per mile. So they compensate of giving you more money for being in a small enclosed space. You OTR, so that's why they give you more. If you're in a regular Freightliner or like a full space Freightliner, you get probably 39 cents per mile. So I started off there.
Is it not a sleeper? Is it a small truck?
It's a sleeper. It's just a lightweight Freightliner. It's just small. It's no room. Literally, when I got my Freightliner, my lightweight, I literally had to take the passenger seat out of the truck to get room. That's why I put my refrigerator at. Right. So I only had a driver's seat.
What are some of the things you eat on the road?
Man, I try to eat healthy, and I try to find a Walmart as best as I can, especially with truck parking. So like I eat mainly salads, whatever I can get my hands into one. It's kind of like a setup to us where they got Subway and McDonald's put into all the truck stuff. It's kind of like a setup on us for bad health, It kind of sets us up. I mean, and I just had to I started eating McDonald's a long time ago. So
I haven't eaten McDonald's.
Subway, I may get Subway. I get a salad every here and there, but that's about it. I try to get salads. I try to get a mixed fruit that I get from Pilot or Flying J's, and drink a lot of juice and water. That's how I get by.
Okay, so I have a question. I had a young man say he couldn't get approved to drive because they said he was too overweight. they didn't train them for anything.
That's an issue.
Okay, that's an issue because it's an issue because and also they have to go through what's called a sleep apnea class.
Really?
And so what that is pretty much how they look at it is everything in trucking is all about insurance and liability. And what it is if you're too big and you're in the truck, and if you're sleeping, and how like bigger people, how they snore and how they breathe, and sometimes for what they say, they don't breathe for a certain amount of time where it just their lungs just doesn't. And if they somehow happen to not wake up or whatever, they're and pass out or what happens, they're liable for those drivers. So it's a possible chance that they can be hit with a lawsuit. That's why they make it a big deal for those sleep apnea class. And usually 9 times out of 10, those drivers got paid for those sleep apnea machines, and those are not cheap. Those are not cheap, and insurance don't cover them neither.
Yeah, blood pressure is one of the ones too.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Wow. And I think also if you're diabetic too.
Yeah. Everybody thought he was making it up. Like everybody thought he was lying about not getting picked, and I was like, that sounds legit, you guys.
Yeah. Some depending on the company as well, they may sneak you in there, but you definitely going in that sleep apnea machine, and you're definitely paying out of pocket for it.
Wow, that's so crazy to me. I mean, I guess they need drivers, but they don't need them that bad. They're like, nah, bro, you're too big.
Everything is about liability and insurance. Even these trucks, like Chris was saying, everything that's being governed, all of it is insurance. They put in all this Vanguard, On Guard in the trucks where when you on cruise control and you're driving, like you said, those machines, they pick up little metals on the side, even from a sign above, and it scared me because I used to drive for JB Hunt, the intermodal rail out of Atlanta, which is you drive in the city of Atlanta. Oh my gosh,
hot Atlanta, that's 5 lanes.
So I was on 285 right there on the loop, cruise control, 60 miles per hour. I don't know how, but I was getting off on the exit on exit 12 off the west side of Bankhead. And I don't know how, but the truck just said boom, and it just the brakes just locked, and I don't know what happened. Now, usually it's supposed to pick up the car in front of you, but the car was literally like 16 feet ahead. Like, so I don't know what it picked up, and it just scared me. Like when the computer picks up something like that, and they said it's just the Vanguard system is so sensitive like that, is actually very dangerous because what if it would have rained and I would have jackknifed?
Yep.
So it's we as drivers, we tell them, man, just leave the truck alone. We wish they could, but all of this is just insurance and for the companies to get the best rates, so they put them on the trucks just for that.
Wow, y'all making me nervous with these trucks. Making me nervous.
It's the newer trucks. The newer trucks.
These are the newer trucks. All the older trucks, they don't have them. Like this I know you deal with this problem. DEF, the DPF system. That's like the number one problem. Oh my gosh. The diesel exhaust fluid system. Oh my gosh.
I see you, Cashmatic. I see you, Thornell. Give me a second. I'm trying to make sure y'all can get in. I don't know what the problem is. Thank you, Leslie. Miss Leslie out of Miami, living big, living well. She said, thanks for bringing great content. She dropped a $10 super chat. We have Chasing Andrew Jackson said, fracking is awesome. We're doing, he said, big numbers out there. Lubbock is only 100 miles away. Let's see. What else?
Chasing Andrew, what's good, man? He killing in the oil field.
Let's see. Truckers in the house. Yeah, this guy said if you can't pass the DOT weight requirement. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. This guy said there are a lot of truck stops to a McDonald's and convenience store built in. One person asked, can you cook in your truck?
Yeah. I used to cook oatmeal. Yeah. I cook rice and beans. Like I have a rice cooker and I'll make oatmeal. I have like a little kettle I turn on. It's like an electric kettle. I'll make oatmeal in the morning, add my protein, my peanut butter, and I'll try to save money because, like I said, that food is, we don't get a lot of options to spend money on stuff, but when we see food, it's like we gotta eat. And like you said before, I try to get like a lot of fruit with bananas and stuff, and because the truck stops do that for us. They do have a lot of fruit options. So I do appreciate that a lot.
Would you say that, gosh, would you say that you see people gain like 20, 30 pounds in a year?
I've gained weight. When I first started,
I
like it was bad. Because it was like an experiment for me to do like the vegetarian thing, and I did it, and I was just like, okay. But my company has like a lot of meat products, and I'm seeing like all these chickens and stuff, and these pigs and beef, and I wasn't raised on a farm, so I'm just like the smell. It threw me off one day, and I was just like, I'm done with meat. And then I just started eating French fries. So I didn't do any research on like how to be a vegan or eat on a plant-based diet. So all I ate was like fried food and French fries, and I'm just like, what's going on? And people are like, are you about not 3 months in, Chris? And I'm like, what are you talking about?
You were a pregnant skinny man.
So I had to work on that. I had to do some research.
Same thing for you, Pharaoh. Did you see your weight go up?
Yes. Right now, well, it's funny because I checked the scale the other day. I'm like about 212. Before I got right into trucking, man, I was like 160. So I gained.
Wow.
Yeah.
But are you tall though? I mean, you can spread
I'm well, I'm 5'10" and a half. So,
that'll work. I mean, at least it's not like 5'5" and you're like, it's right here.
Yeah. Right.
Well, Pharaoh, do you recruit any young guys to come drive with you, or a referral from you, or any of those things?
Here I do too. We get like for every person we bring, we get like $250. Also, here at Lester's, we also have what's called because this is the refrigerator side, which I'm on, what I'm contracted with. We also have what's called an extreme account, which they pretty much haul the lighting and the stage for all the country music stars. I also but I also, try to get people onto that account. And the thing about that's kind of much more harder, even though you hauling for country music stars, as much as that sounds, exciting. A lot of people don't want to do it is because you don't get the home time like people like me or Chris do. You have to stay out for the whole tour. You have to stay, and that can range from 6 to almost 12 months for a whole year. Yeah, you have to stay out for the whole tour. Here we got Luke Bryan. We used to have Carrie Underwood. I don't know how we lost that account. She was like the most easiest person to get along with. Recently, we just had Rihanna put an inquiry for us, but the thing is, Rihanna wanted freaking 30 trucks, man.
Oh, wow.
And that's 30 trucks. She requested 30 trucks. We was like, we not gonna find any. We can't get those trucks, and not enough drivers, and she wanted with all in a 2-week span. But with Rihanna, yeah, she's a prima donna. Yes, she is. So we was like, we couldn't do it. But yeah, we had Luke Bryan, we had Reba McEntire, we had Brad Paisley, we had Shania Twain. They had pretty much almost all the country music stars.
Okay, cool. So for example, where's your home base? Like where do you live and where do you drive out of still?
My home base, I live in Atlanta still. So what I do is when I take my home time, I go there to the Tampa yard because that's where I park my car. Because I'm out of pretty much the South. So if you kind of like in the South, like North Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee, Tampa will be more like your yard. So it's either you get they either fly you in or you take a bus in. But because I was in Atlanta, all I had to do was drive down on 75, just drive it straight down to Tampa. So I drove the orientation and everything else. So that's where I take my home time, drive it to the yard, which is good because I don't have to find nowhere to park truck and trailer because it'll be at the yard. I'll have to drive 400 something miles back home going north. Wow. Yeah.
Wow. So here's a question. This young lady, a couple of young ladies I've had do consult calls with me that were truckers. They kind of want to get out of it because they're women and they say, it's very, very lonely on the road. I ain't trying to put their business out there, but they're just very lonely on the road. Do you guys experience that? I mean, I know Chris is saying, I think you have your wife and son. That might be a little different. Is it lonely on the road? Is it boring? What is it road experience?
Yeah, yes, it is lonely out here. I'm fortunate because I don't have any children. I don't have a wife, so it's just me, myself, and I. So I can understand it is lonely. It's like I said, truck driving. It's a different type of field. It's not for everybody. Definitely not. You have to be cut out for this type of work. You out months out of the year. When you come home, you only get about most a week off, probably 3 or 4 days, and then you're back out. Like Chris was saying, I can't stay home no longer than a week because I'll be itching just to go back driving on the road. I get
Right.
bored easily. So especially me as an owner, I'm trying to make all the money that I can like that. So yes, so but I can understand with women because a lot of ladies they tend to get lonely, and so that's why a lot of them too, they tend to want to drive teams as well. So they can it I guess it balance it out. So that's why I say a lot of women, they'll be more prone to want to drive teams than to drive solo by themselves. And there's not a lot of women in trucking that's solo driver. They're out there, but it's not too many of them. A lot of them wants to do teams because it balances out. They have somebody in the truck with them, and they also working as well.
Is that same for you, Chris? Do you mean, are you lonely, or are you calling back home? What are you doing, Chris?
I've always been a solo dolo type of person.
Because your mom's up in the air, she flying, she out. She's out.
Yep, and I'm like I said, I'm more of a nomad. I like traveling. I've always liked doing that. I enjoy doing it more with my family, but me being able to support my family and like I was I don't know, like with me, I enjoy my time. Like I enjoyed my me time, and I'm just like that. That's the person I am. Like my family will be in one room and I'll be in another room, like watching YouTube videos. Like we're all kind of always in our zone, but then we'll get together, we'll go out to eat, and we'll do. Yeah, I'm very introverted. I'm not gonna lie. Like so, I like my time. So it doesn't bother me as much, but I do like it'll get unbearable sometimes, and I'll be like, all right, it's time to go home. Like y'all, I'm going home, and that's why I like that ability to where I can tell them like, hey, have somebody get this load off of me. I'm going home, or I'm close to home. I'm taking a reset, and I'm going to go home for the night, and what I'm saying, get that the interaction with my family.
Okay, so Derek Bailey asks, what are the crazy stuff you guys seen on the road? And Chris, you go first, and then Farrell, you go.
Okay. So I've seen people rolled over on the side of the road in ditches. I've seen the last accident I saw. I didn't see it, but the guy I was training saw it, and there was like a van that had like a trailer attached to the back, and the van was like tipped over, and there was like a sheet over a body.
Oh,
it's pretty crazy out here, but that's kind of the crazy stuff I've seen.
Farrell, what kind of craziness have you seen in the past 6 years?
Let's see. Last year, I was traveling on I-64 going through the mountainous West Virginia. And what happened was, I guess, a truck and a dually, he was towing one of his RV dually little houses. And I guess because it's at one part when you're going through Charleston, West Virginia, is very, like I said, it's very windy in some of these hills, these mountains. And he lost control and the truck flipped, but the RV, his RV house, literally slammed into somebody's house. It went through their bedroom. And I literally watched this happen, and the dude, I guess the husband was home. He ran out here in his boxers and his t-shirt, thinking I don't know what hit him. So that's like, RV home going through your house.
That's crazy.
Flying from the mountain. That's what I've seen. Like I said, I've seen rollover accidents. Don't mean to be the dead horse, but majority of them are Swift drivers.
He's mad with Swift, y'all. These Swift drivers.
Yeah, Swift driver. We stay Swift is like the Buddy and Joseph truck driving. Like we literally stay cracking up on Swift. They done drove on the opposite side of the highway. Don't know how that happened. They done drove on the opposite side. They done ran into the fuel aisle. That happened back in, I think it was like in Iowa a couple years ago when they did that. They done When you're driving off the exit ramp, I guess they didn't see the road going off the exit ramp. They took the grass up there. They went inside the when you go through bridges, you know, the truck is 13.6 because it tells you. They went under like 13.4 on the bridges, got stuck under there. So yeah, I've seen a lot of that, and not to be the dead horse, it happened in New York as well. So I was like, oh gosh.
So I got 2 questions. I've got Panther Drones, and he says, how much can a first-year driver make? I'm located in Dallas. And y'all can give a range. It doesn't have to be exact. You can give a range. Panther Drones, also, if you're looking to drive, call Chris right here. But go ahead, and Chris, can you start off and tell me what range they can expect first-year driver?
First-year driver, like I said, I have a wife and I have a kid, so I didn't make too much of nothing starting off. Like a lot of money went home, paying a lot of debt off. So I didn't make a whole lot my first year. I don't even have a number to give, like, because it was all catch up my first year.
Okay. And Farrell?
It can range between 20 to 40. Also, it depends on the company. Usually, a lot of companies, they'll pay you like between 20 to 27 cents per mile. Yeah, I know, for being trucking, they still paying that cheap. From what I was hearing, though, some companies have went up on their pay, but that's the range you'll be looking for, between about 25 to 40 grand on your first year. And they give you a raise at least a half or a penny more each year. So that's what you expect them to look at, 25 to 40.
Okay, that sounds good. Thornell Smith said 35 to 50, and Cashmatic said around 40. So that sounds about right. Farrell, I'm gonna see if I can eject you and see if I can re-add Cashmatic. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Good talking to you.
Thank you.
Let me see. Okay. Let me see. Hold on, Chris. Don't move. Because if I lose you, then I have nobody. Hold on. Cashmatic and Thornell, please go check your emails again one more time. Check your phones and see if that'll let you in now. I don't know if it's capping me at 3 people or what. I don't know if that's what it's doing. You know, I'm not O'Shea Jackson can have 12 people on there. I don't know why it's giving me a hard time. So let me see if that works. If that lets y'all come in, we'll see. But you know, thank you for the information again. Panther Drones, Chris is in the Dallas area. If you want to connect, if you want to get a what would you call it? A sponsor?
Yeah,
I want to say it right. Sponsorship. That's something he can do. So everybody keeps saying it depends on the company. Yes, I believe that. Definitely. So we're checking the email one more time to see if it'll do it now. It looked like Farrell left it, but let's see. Let me see. I'm gonna try. Okay. I'm gonna try to add them. Let me see. It's gonna let me. Hold on. Let me see. Is it doing it? Nope. All right, so it's just mad with me. It's not gonna let me do it. It's no fun. But I did try to add 2 more guys. I'm sorry, you guys. I did try to add them, but I don't want to take Chris's whole day. You guys have a ton of questions in here, but you'll see them when you get back on the chat and check it out.
Okay. Or then just email me.
Yeah. People can email him. Let's see. What else? Yeah, I think I hit everybody's questions. We'll do another one. I'm going to go, see some trucks here in Austin, Texas. And so I'll kind of give you guys feedback on that trip. We'll bring him on again. ChrisleeTV, again, he is able to sponsor people. So if you're in the Dallas area, definitely hit him up. Now, Chris, if you're in Dallas around June 29th through July 1st, check your calendar. I'll be doing the Andre's tour. And
yeah, I'm trying to get my wife to go there.
Yeah, so I mean, you let me know. We'll do a special coupon for you to come or whatever. We'll just because want to treat you for your time. So
I appreciate it.
There's just been a lot of conversation. So sorry, Cashmatic. So sorry, Thornell. I really did try to get you in here today, but at the end of the day, Chris gave us really great answers, and I think it's great. I think we can do more on this. We can find out, there's so many trucking things once you describe dirt and water and
it's a lot
gravel
of stuff.
Food and refrigerated trucks. I don't know all these differences, but we're going to learn them. So everybody, Chris will be putting his information in the comments, and he'll definitely send me his info so I can put it in the description so you guys can contact him, because he is a sponsor. So if you're looking for work, if you're looking for new opportunities in the Dallas, Texas area, or I guess if you're from around there, near there, Chris can help you. Definitely, you guys, hit the like button. Pharaoh, thank you so much for coming on. If I have another one, I will invite you guys on. We will figure out Google Hangouts together because they keep doing updates. I want to make sure it's there. Thank you, Mrs. Love Jones. Somebody said also that you're young and married. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thorn L. I'm sorry, Mr. Smith. But yeah, we'll try to get it again. And you guys, this is Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Please go check out Chris Lee TV. Young man, trucking, 2 years in, sponsor, lease operator. Chris, let the people know where they can tell you and tell them bye.
ChrisleeTV on YouTube. You can go to my channel and check out where I started, how I got here, and what I'm doing today. Again, Erica, thank you so much for having me on your channel. ChrisleeTV@gmail.com is my email. I will give that to Erica and put that also in the comments for you guys.
All right, you guys. Also, thank Leslie, Miss Leslie Cabarro from out of Miami, Florida. She is today's sponsor of the show. She did a $10 super chat. Thank you again, Miss Leslie. All right, everybody. This is Erica. I'll see you guys later. Out.